skirmish styles. They like heroes that can operate quite independently. And right now, all of them do so. But SRG, the Cho we mentioned comes out, but the Kimmy, which has not had the highest success rate, is still a prio.
It is a Sky Piercer carrier, so you can melt through tanks eventually, but I share your concerns, right? This YSS was called out by Gideon, you know, in the first half, and it's pretty good at dealing with the Kimmy and Harry, especially if Era starts getting a hit.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're not going to like lean into the Arlet, since we now...
Starting things off with game number 1 in the land of Dawn. It's going to be the SELANGOR Red Giants up against Team Vamos.
And Broken Walls will be on the map that we play on. SRG finds himself on the blue side with Vamos on red. Act 1 of the final chapter here. And let's see, I'm looking at the XP lane.
It's so many things right now. It's making sure that you can control that mid lane, and even as much as I want to believe that the EXP lane is going to make a huge impact, I think it's only later. For now, the laning phase should be pretty dead in the water.
We can already see that mid lane trade's going to be going as per usual. Yums will scout out the jungle. He knows that Era 404 is on the top half of the map, so Sky should have priority over the Little Wanderer and will be able to secure it. I gotta ask you, Gideon, what are we looking at in terms of lane dynamics here?
In terms of lane dynamics, I'm expecting that Innocent should do a pretty okay job against Nako, but it looks like Nako is really taking advantage of this laning phase, which is great. It's great to see. He will eventually start building up into the lead. I don't know whether he will get the river crabs, but maybe if he gets some help coming in from his mid lane, that could be a possibility. Bottom side, nothing should happen essentially. So guys, because he showed up by Little Wanderer, this is very possible for Arrow 4-4.
All set up by Clockman and ZK, right? Setting up the freeze and chunking up both Stormy and Yums. You force their recall, and you are going to start allowing these Hylos to go for the invade, which is something that Vamos would love for. Now Arrow is almost a full level ahead of Sakai's.
And I like this a lot. I like the play coming in from Vamos. I like the fact that we're saying, hey, we just need to slow them down to take the Little Wanderer so that Arrow 4-4 can get his retreat back up for the right time. And that's exactly what they find, right? It's all these small little things to put Sakai's in a position where he can't hit higher levels quickly.
And look at this freeze. This freeze is extremely brutal. SRG have to brute force their way, trade their help just to free it out for Stormy, but Stormy is still a full level behind. So I'm not sure if they have what it takes to contest for this objective, considering that Clockwood has his Crimson Beacon. But SRG, they are not known to back down from a fight, and Vamos, they're gonna lose the putt down to 50% health. Crab in with the flicker as well on the Arrow 4-4, but the full connects, and the crowd control is just too much. First blood for Vamos. The turtle does go over to SRG, so at least they get something.
They try to turn for the fight here, and now Vamos is trying to take something back at the very least, invading the jungle, stealing one of the side camps, and looking for a second one at the same time.
This is a Vamos specialty right here. This is the gameplay they've refined. The Purify going to be used as well to dodge Stormy, get out scot-free. We already knew this is what was going to happen in that early game, but what does SRG need to do about it?
They just have to accept it. Right now, especially since they did get chunked out, they've lost some pretty big objectives here. The early game is kind of done for, right? The laning phase is about mitigating the damage, and now you want to kind of respond to Vamos. Unfortunately for both Stormy and as well as Yums, unless Stormy has his max stacks and... Oh, hold on.
Oh, this kick. Let's see if he secures ZK, because Arrow 4-4 is in. He instantly just claps Stormy. And unfortunately, Sakai doesn't have a response there, so Vamos wins the trade.
Interesting. Felt a little bit unnecessary there from SRG. They were definitely trying to set up the kick for Skies, but it was a bit too late, and they should be well aware of YSS burst potential at this point.
Well, I mean, YSS, in the early game, it's hard to say, right? Especially since he does decide to take assassin emblems. Oh, he actually does have his Hunter Strike already complete. So with everything that has happened in these early stages of the game, yeah, he does have some real damage.
And so he falls back as well as a bit of that foresight prevented a death. But Arrow 4-4, he's still hanging around. Let's see if Innocent's tendency is going to get him killed in that top lane. Arrow 4-4 is going to show himself. Innocent does have the Purify and the Zaman Frost. Instead goes on a 1v2 spree. And again, Innocent, always reliable.
Okay, 15 seconds left. After his Zaman Force had finally expired, I'm only going to assume that his ult is going to come back in about 20 seconds or so after the Lord actually spawns here. We'll see in just a little bit, but I don't think he's in any position to fight for this as well. It might be just a quick lane swap.
The question is whether or not SRG actually wants to contest this second turtle. It's pretty clear that Vamos are in a comfortable... Hold on.
Looking for Sub-5, gonna force this out the ult.
Okay.
That is some important resources that allows Vamos to frontline. And this could give SRG more leverage to walk up to the turtle.
Oh, okay. All right. So they chunk out. They get the big ult as well. Wait, hold on. Yums, please.
Oh, they drop the carpet. Here is ZK. Barbell traded in return. So guys will get the objective. And Cram makes it back to the bottom lane in time to prevent the structure from going. But Arrow 4-4 still cashes in on the entire plate. I'm trying to figure out whether it would have been worth fighting him for the side of Vamos. Because at this point, right, doing a no contest on that turtle, not finding any picks whatsoever, and only just doubling down on making sure that Arrow 4-4 is strong, I'm not 100% sure. Because while that was all happening, Natco on the opposite side is actually starting to suffer some economical damage from Innocent and the rest of the Selangor Red Giant pressure.
I think a lot of it does come down to what Vamos wants to do with this in the next couple of minutes. Do they want to keep playing off of Error 404? Because if they do, hold on, Sky really wants that kill. Even forced out the glorious pathway. So SRG starting to up the tempo a little bit.
Yep, they were trying to force out the Purify, but they fished the Crimson Beacon, which is just as good. A revisit into the top lane, or a potential one from Arrow 4-4. But without the glorious pathway, Innocent still having the Purify, it's not going to be an easy angle to approach.
I mean, they're going to try, and of course, the crowd loves it, and every time that sheesh is going to be dropped down here in MY, but I think I'm starting to get the plan coming in from the side of Team Vamos, right? They want to get their scalers out early as soon as possible and slow down Innocent. I feel like it's an inevitability that the guys will eventually be a little too tanky to deal with, but up until that point, if they can put him behind in the early games, that's how they get these early advantages, and especially on Arrow 404, a lead that actually can stay.
Something that we have to recognize based on historical data is that it is not uncommon for the Red Giants to be behind in gold in the early game, especially if it's within the 2K, 3K max range. Right now, that net worth is very, very close. Would you think that Vamos maybe wasn't able to be aggressive enough?
Well, I mean, to be fair, with the two turtles that Selangor Red Giants managed to take, and notice that Vamos, they haven't been able to find these complete wipeouts. They get picks, but they don't get the wipeouts.
And Clockwood playing a very dangerous game there. They did trade the attraction pulse from Stormy, so that's something that Vamos can bank on. Clockwood still retains all of his spells, but Sub-5 is going to get zoned out by Crab. Yums and Stormy shows up as well. Two-man Dark Wave, Crab just trying to play that bouncer role, and he's taking out a lot of damage. So Turtle down low, Clockwood disengages, and Yums goes in for the kick. Another Dark Wave from Crab as it continues to just stagger the members of Vamos. YSS is down, and this is where SRG strikes the hardest. It's a double kill for the Sky Prince.
Ooh, that's the breakthrough point. That is the trade that SRG always looks for in the mid game. When this happens, instantly snowball resets, the game goes their way, and that was very oppressive positioning.
Hey, let's not forget that Natco also ended up getting solo killed on the opposite side of the map as well, coming in from Innocent. That should not have happened, and now Innocent is at a point in the game where let me just double check his items. He is a Holy Crystal away from getting to full items at this point.
Yep, and the top tier 1 also is going to blow up. And so that remaining catapult. So both sides tier 1 go down. SRG, just like that, technically got a 3k goal swing from one turtle fight.
And that's what I'm talking about. These big wipeouts is how you find these huge convergences.
Yep, converting on the Sub-5. This should be a guaranteed kill. There really isn't any way out of that one. It's going to be crammed with the cash out.
Things are going from bad to worse already. SRG knows how to accelerate once they get that initial lead. And Vamos, we know, is a very momentum-based team. They have late game scaling, but is it enough?
Echo also gets forced back. I mean, one thing that you did brought early on to that fight is kind of the damage profile, right? Vamos relies a lot on Arrow 4-4 to do that. And that's why Crab is such a good bouncer as they keep on staggering the front lines of Vamos. ZK has to use the carpet just to get out.
Still gotta make the attempt though, right? Again, it's just constant pressure from SRG on 2 lanes.
Oh, it's 1 second away from the to get it. He even used it right before he died.
So sad, so sad. It truly is a 0.5 second too late and 0.5 second too early moment where you're just hoping that it just falls in the right timing.
But I feel like even if he did get it like a 0.5 second earlier, I think he was dead regardless. There's just too much, and now they're going for more.
Yeah, ZK is going to be dead as well. And unfortunately for Clockwood, he's forced to Crimson back Beacon just to get out thanks to the traction pulse. Almost another 1k goalie going the way of SRG. And I think Vamos will have to admit this Lord. Arrow 4-4 will go on the split push.
Yep, they can't deal with this right now. The mid game is already coming around, and Skies is in a much better position than he was before. He's got damage items already with the War Axe on top of the Endless Battle, and yet we see this.
Yep, Area 4-4, he used Mountain Shocker and saw his death. And without the Traceless, they can't face him either. It's killing spree for Innocent.
Yep. Again, great calls coming in from SRG side. They realized there was no contest. There's no point doubling down on multiple people. Sakai's got this. Let's just take everything else.
Yeah, Nako, that placing duet. Might be a panic button there.
Hey, better safe than sorry, you know?
I think so, but it definitely doesn't feel good to have to pop that, and not everyone sees no real reason for it to happen. SRG have figured out what Vamos is attempting to do, and they're just cutting off every avenue of escape. You want to split push? Nope. You want to farm? This jungle is ours, and they have the tools and the farm to do so.
Oh my goodness. Nako manages to get out of there just in time before the second half of the traction pulse, but this is not a great look for Vamos at this stage. They kind of want to be in the 30Ks by this point, and the fact that they're already 6K behind and can't walk out of their base is not a great look for the hyperscalers.
Yeah, the only person who had any amount of lead is now behind, and that was Arrow 404. 2 consecutive deaths earlier on definitely doesn't help his case. Lauren gets cleared out, Both gets sent out as well. They drop the carpet, but it's just a defensive means. There's no way to get onto SRG, and under 11 minutes, all the holy crystals have, all the holy defenses have gone down.
Before this series even started, a lot of us were discussing, we were thinking, hey, maybe Vamos has a good chance of taking game 1, since we've already seen this play out itself. SRG might take some time to warm up. That does not seem to have been the case.
Yep, they're coming up looking very good. Better yet, they want even more.
Wow, surprise. It's just as though
They got everything.
yeah, it's almost every key resource out of Vamos. Sure, there's gonna be no push from SRG, but they're slowly chipping away at the structures. And Arrow 4-4, he wants a flank angle. And I think Vamos, they're gonna make the call to make something happen. That's gonna be a kick though onto Era. He is so far from home. And the chase from SRG. Era still ends up getting away. But Cram, he's on the back line. He's on the Nako. Nako gets traded back. Mega kill for the captain. And ZKim, a second casualty. SRG still comes out with that win.
A great escape from Error 404, but they lose their goal laner in exchange, which is just not worth it. And now there's 4 members of SRG in the base.
And Cram once more with the flicker. Attraction pulse, brings Clokun back. He's got to purify out of that. Subfight holding the front, but the Diamond Force doesn't finish him off. Innocent willing to dance this all day along. And SRG finally makes the call to back off with half a minute on the Lord. Maybe not. Hold on. They still want more Sakai's. Can he get out of there with the barbell?
Punch him!
They don't have it. Falco not in range. If Cram does go back, this should be where Cram falls. And finally, Vamos gets something in return. But Innocent still at the Diamond Force. Area 4-4 is in. Here comes you with the king. And Innocent delivering on a silver platter. Has a mega kill.
Oh man, Cram was sitting there for a moment thinking like, do I really need to save my jungler right now? Because he could have just let his jungler die and then just got back into the fight later on and maybe make something happen, but he understands his role. It's like, okay, it's not about me this time. Just take me first. We'll get the next Lord. We'll make it work after that.
Skies is going to be worth a little bit more money than Cram at this point, so it does make sense from a trade perspective, but SRG definitely didn't need to stay as long as they did in that one. Considering the network difference, though, doesn't really even make much of an impact. They get the Lord. They've got an 8,000 goal lead at 13 minutes. And while Vamos were able to find something there, you can tell they are starting to lose composure.
I don't think Vamos made the wrong decision. I just think that they didn't know when to stop it, right? They said, we want to like force the fight. Okay, but at how many do we stop at? Do we just 1 pick, 2 pick here? Like, well, what's the deal? And I think that Vamos really need to figure out what exactly those parameters are so they can maintain that discipline.
One of the challenges that Sapa did talk about Vamos is how once things start not going their way, it gets to them, right? And right now, SRG seems to be living rent-free in their head. Traction pulse onto Sapa, a kick, a follow-up, the stagger. Sapa can't even move. And with the Lord still pretty much healthy, Vamos will have a lot to deal with. That's 2 for Cram already. Innocent on a monster kill streak. There's no resistance for Vamos in game 1. And Selangor Red Giants lead the grand